Welcome to School of Dapps. On this channel, we transform aspiring developers into skilled blockchain experts across various blockchain and technology. In today's lesson, we are going to be exploring the concept of variables. Variables are like containers that stores information. They hold values that can change or be used in a program. For example, if you want to remember a number, a word, or even a true or false value, you can put it in a variable and use it later. So when you hear the word variable, what should come to your mind? A container that holds a certain type of information. That in programming, a variable has a name for identification. It also stores a value. There are three types of variable in Solidity. We have the local variable, state variable, and global variable. All right. Now let's implement what we have learned so far through code. Remember, we said a variable is a container, so I will be creating a variable. This one that we have here is a variable, but I want to create them again so that you get to see it clearly. Now, one thing you must note is that in Solidity, before you create a variable, which we call container, you must first of all write out what type of information will that variable hold. So we are going to write, first of all, we are starting with the type of information the variable will hold. So we are saying the variable will hold string, or it will hold Boolean type of information. So we write bool. About the visibility of that variable, we're going to write if the variable will be visible or not. So, but on the aspect of the visibility, I will, in a different video, I will explain more about the visibility. So I will put public for now. Then the next thing is to write the name of the variable, the name of the container. So I want to name it variable 1. Then the next thing I want to do, I want to assign a value to it. I want to assign a value to it. To assign a value to it means I want to put I want to give it a value. Give it a value. By when I say give it a value, means I want to, like, the container will be holding a value. So if I just close it up like this, it means that I have created the variable, or I've created the container, but I have not assigned anything to it. I have not placed anything to that variable. So Solidity will what Solidity will do to this variable now, if I want to use it somewhere else in my code, it will have the default value, which is false. But if I want to assign, I want to give it a value, I will say equal to, then I will say either, remember the type of container I'm dealing with here is a Boolean type. So I cannot give it any type of value. So I must give it the type of value which I have declared from the beginning, that it's going to be a container that will hold Boolean types. So any information I'm assigning to it, it will be this type of information, to be Boolean type of information. So if I write not 2, for example, it will be wrong, because you can see it's showing beneath it. It will be wrong because I have declared that this container will hold the type of information that is called Boolean. So, and Boolean type of information is either true or false. So I will say either I assign true to this container for the container to hold true, or the container will hold false. By so doing, the compiler will not complain. But if I write a different type of information, the compiler would yarn at me, would shout at me. That's why you have the red lines. You will have the red line beneath the code. Now, the same thing goes for this other one. You can see that the string, the type of information that we want the variable to hold, is what we declared first. We said, okay, this variable that I want to create, it will hold the type of information, which is the type of information is string. I said I will explain this visibility later on in another video. Then we name the container text. So we assigned a value to it. This is the value that was assigned to it. So when I want to use text, it means that it will be, when I refer to this variable text, I'm going to be also referring to the value it's holding. Okay, let's move to the third one. This one is, you can see in creating this variable, we said the type we want this variable to hold. Type of data I want this variable to hold is unsigned integer. An unsigned integer has to do with a number that have no negative sign. In our next video, we'll discuss, or we'll learn about the different data types, so that you'll be well informed about that also. So in our next video, we'll learn about the different data types. But this is an unsigned integer, and it's UN256. In our next video, we'll talk more about that. But this is the visibility we talked about before. Then this is the name of the container, or the name of the variable we are giving. This is the name we give to the variable. So we said, oh, this container is named num. Why are we giving it a name? To identify the variable. Now we say, oh, we are assigning this value to it. We are assigning 123 to this variable. So when I want to, for example, when I say I want to use the variable later, this is how we use it later. For example, we say urent public. I'm creating on that variable, but I want to use this previous one for this to show an example. Then I'll name it addition equal to num plus num. Now you can see I am using this variable. I'm calling this, I'm adding num plus num. I remember this is a container. So what is actually happening here is that this num represents 123. This other num represents what? 123. So in other words, by using num like this, num plus num, we are saying 123 plus 123. That's what we are doing in with this very action. 123 plus 123. So in we have different type of variables. We have in Solidity, we have different type of variables. We have the local variable, we have the state variable, and we have um, the global variable. So in another video, we'll be looking at them one after the other. But I want you to understand what we have learned so far in this video before moving on to another video. So if you have not gotten this one, make sure you repeat it again to fully understand before moving to the different type of variable that will be come up in the next video. Thank you for watching.